Me, 34 years old, senior lead architect at a boutique firm in Chicago, make six figures, drive an Audi Q5, own a condo in the Loop with floor-to-ceiling windows, obsessed with optimization. My morning routine is a 2-hour military drill involving ice baths, cortisol management, and listening to podcasts about high-performance habits, currently sitting in business class, sipping Prosecco, flying to Tuscany college roommate's wedding. It's going to be a week-long affair at a rented villa near Siena, expecting the usual crowd, finance bros, tech climbers. The elite of our graduating class. I've spent the last 3 months prepping for this personal trainer. Intermittent fasting, new wardrobe consisting of neutral linens and silk goal is to look effortlessly superior. Specifically, I want to stunt on my ex, Nate. We dated for 2 years in our late 20s, broke up because he was stagnant. He wanted to open a custom furniture workshop. I told him he needed to get serious about scalable business models. He called me relentless. I called him unambitious, haven't seen him in 4 years, assume he's probably covered in sawdust somewhere. Dating a barista, struggling to pay rent, I'm ready to be the benevolent, successful ex who asks politely how his little project is going. Land in Florence, humidity is terrible, but I don't sweat. I glisten, rent the Alfa Romeo, drive to the villa, the place is ridiculous. 17th century stone, vineyards, infinity pool overlooking the rolling hills, walking into the courtyard, sunglasses on, scanning the crowd for threats and targets. See the bride, Jessica, screaming about flower arrangements, classic Jessica. Then I see him, Nate, barely recognize him at first. He's not covered in sawdust. He's wearing a tailored navy suit, rolling down in Michaela Davy suit. Open collar, loafers he looks, solid broader shoulders, better haircut. Beard is groomed but rugged. He's laughing at something the groom is saying. Holding a glass of wine by the stem, he looks expensive, not flashy. Expensive, but old money, quiet confidence, expensive. My stomach does a little flip. Okay, so he cleaned up, probably faking it for the wedding. I walk over, ready to deploy the "so good to see you, you look healthy" line with maximum condescension. "Sarah," he says, turning around, his smile is warm, not nervous, not eager, just warm. "You look great. How was the flight?" No awkwardness, no lingering resentment. It throws me off balance. "Fine," I say, flipping my hair. "Busy. I was working on a rendering until we took off." "You know how it is." "I actually don't," he laughs. "I try not to work on planes anymore. Disconnecting is important." I open my mouth to make a joke about how disconnecting doesn't pay the mortgage, but a hand slides onto his arm. I look down, manicured nails, pale pink polish. No rings follow the arm up. See a girl maybe 26, 27 wearing a simple sundress, nothing designer, brown hair and a loose bun. Minimal makeup. She's not hot in the way I define it. She's not striking. She doesn't have killer cheekbones or a power brow. She looks soft. "Sarah, this is Sophie." Nate says. He pulls her in slightly. "Hi, Sarah," she says, voice is light, melodic. Nate talks about you fondly. "It's so nice to meet you." Fondly? I look at Nate, expected him to be bitter, expected him to have erased me instead. He's framed me as a pleasant memory. It's insulting. "Nice to meet you." I say, giving her the once-over. "What do you do, Sophie?" The first question I always ask's gotta establish the hierarchy immediately. "I'm a pediatric nurse," she says, smiling. "Oh, that's sweet." I say, "Hard work, though." "Long hours, low pay." "Admirable." Backhanded compliment lands perfectly. Sophie doesn't flinch. "It can be hard," she agrees. "But the kids are wonderful." It keeps things in perspective. She looks at Nate. "We were just going to grab some antipasto. Want to join?" They're inviting me into their piece. "I need to unpack," I say coldly. Watch them walk away. Nate's hand is on the small of her back thumb, rubbing circles against the fabric of her dress, casually intimate, like they've been doing this for decades. The first dinner, long table set up in the vineyard, fairy lights, local wine, too much carbs. I'm seated across from a guy named Julian, investment banker from London, wearing a Rolex Daytona. Perfect on paper. I engage immediately. "So how's the market treating you?" "The volatility in the tech sector is concerning." Julian nods, takes a sip of wine. "It's all right. Bit chaotic. I try not to bring it home with me. But you have to stay ahead of it." I saw the Bloomberg report this morning about the Asian markets. I feel like people are underestimating the supply chain ripple effects. Julian looks tired. "Yeah, probably." "Hey, this prosciutto is incredible. Have you tried it?" I feel annoyance rising. Why doesn't he want to spar? Why doesn't he want to prove he's smart? I look down the table. Nate and Sophie are sitting with the bride's cousins. Sophie is laughing at something a teenager is saying, head thrown back. Genuine laughter, not the polite social climbing chuckle I've perfected. Nate is watching her. He's not checking his phone. He's not scanning the room for better conversations. He's just watching her like she's the only interesting thing in Italy. So, I say to Julian, trying to regain control, what's your 5-year plan? London is great, but the tax implications post-Brexit are a nightmare. Julian audibly sighs. Honestly, love, my 5-year plan is to find a villa like this, buy a dog, and stop talking about tax implications. He turns to the woman next to him, a yoga instructor named Danny, asks her about breathwork. I'm dismissed sitting there in my $800 dress, ignored by the target demographic, drink half a bottle of Chianti out of spite. Day 3, the winery tour. Everyone piles into a bus. I make sure to sit near the front, near the guide, asking questions about fermentation processes and soil acidity, trying to show I'm cultured. Actually, the tannins in the 18 vintage were affected by the drought, correct? Guide looks bored. Yes, Signora. Very good. Look back at the bus. Nate and Sophie are sharing headphones, one earbud each. She's resting her head on his shoulder. He's reading a paperback book. Looks like fiction, probably something useless. I used to buy him biographies of CEOs, told him he needed to study greatness. He never read them, said they made him anxious. Now he's reading some sci-fi novel and looks completely at peace. We get to the tasting room. I end up standing next to Nate. Sophie is in the bathroom. She seems nice. I say, can't help the tone. She is. Nate says he swirls his glass. She's wonderful. A bit different from what I expected you to end up with. I say, I figured you'd want someone more driven. Nate takes a sip, looks me dead in the eye. Driven toward what, Sarah? Success. Growth. Building an empire. I built my business. He says calmly, furniture studio is doing 7 figures. I have a backlog of orders for 6 months. I blink. You do? Yeah. But that's just work. Sophie, she's life. What does that even mean? I scoff. It means I don't come home to a debriefing, he says, voice drops. Not angry, just honest. It means I don't have to defend my choices every dinner. It means silence isn't a weapon. I was just trying to push you to be your best. I snap defensive now. I know, he says, and it was exhausting. For both of us. Sophie returns. Look at this view. She beams, pointing at the vines. Nate, take a picture of us? She pulls me an arm around my waist. She smells like vanilla and sunscreen. No pretension, just warmth. I stand stiffly, force a smile. Nate snaps the photo. Beautiful, he says, looking right at her. Day 4. The pool day. I'm wearing a structured one-piece that costs more than my first car, reading The Art of War. Conspicuously on a lounger, trying to project intimidating intellectual men are avoiding me. Like I'm radioactive. Julian is playing Marco Polo with the kids in the pool. Sophie is sitting on the edge, feet in the water. She's wearing a mismatched bikini. Body is average, soft tummy. Stretch marks on her hips. She doesn't care. She's eating a slice of pizza and laughing. I watch Nate swim over to her. He puts his hands on her knees, looks up at her, says something that makes her blush. He kisses her stomach right on the imperfection. I feel a physical pang in my chest. Jealousy? No, it can't be. I'm better than her. I have a master's degree. I have a portfolio of skyscrapers. I have 12K followers on LinkedIn. Why does he look at her like she hung the moon and stars? My friend Chloe sits next to me. Chloe is also single, 35, VP of marketing. God, look at them, she whispers. It's so performative, right? I agree quickly. He's clearly compensating. She's a placeholder. He'll get bored. Totally, Chloe says. He needs someone who challenges him. Someone on his level. She's a nurse, I say, sneering. She wipes noses for a living. So basic, Chloe says. We clink our spritzes, reinforcing our delusion, validating each other's bitterness as standards. Later that night, I overhear Chloe crying in the bathroom, calling her therapist. Why does nobody look at me like that? I walk away quietly, pretend I didn't hear. Day 5, the wedding ceremony is in a 12th century chapel. Beautiful, emotional, I don't cry. Crying ruins makeup and shows weakness. Scan the room during vows. Julian is wiping his eyes. Nate is holding Sophie's hand so tight his knuckles are white. She's weeping openly. Ugly, crying, mascara running. Nate hands her a handkerchief, whispers something in her ear. She leans into him. They are a unit, a fortress of peace. Reception is a black tie affair. I look stunning, emerald green silk. Backless. I know I look good. I walk up to the bar stand next to a groomsman I haven't vetted yet. Tall, dark hair, wearing a tux. Well, I'm Sarah, I say, extending a hand, firm grip. Michael? He says. So Michael, what's your story? Groom's side or bride's? Groom's. We went to law school together. Lawyer? Good? Corporate? Or litigation? I ask. Corporate. M&A. Intense, I say. Leaning in, do you enjoy the kill? Or just the money? Classic shit test, meant to spark witty banter, meant to show I'm a bad bitch who understands his world. Michael looks at me, really looks at me, eyes go flat. I actually just quit last month, he says. Oh? Burnout? I challenge. Couldn't handle the heat? He laughs, but it's dry. No. I realized I was spending 80 hours a week fighting with people. I didn't want my life to be an argument. So what do you do now? I'm moving to Vermont. Going to practice real estate law, maybe opening bakery, but is it so? I laugh, that's a waste of a degree. Silence. Michael puts his drink down. You know, he says, you remind me of my ex-wife. I preen, oh? Was she fabulous? She was miserable. He says calm, factual, and she made sure everyone around her was miserable too, because she mistook anxiety for ambition. He checks his watch. Excuse me. I'm going to go find some cake. Leaves me standing at the bar, mouth slightly open, shock radiating through my limbs. Mistook anxiety for ambition. The phrase sticks in my throat like a fishbone. Go outside to smoke. I don't smoke, but I keep a pack of Vogues for aesthetics standing on the terrace, overlooking the valley, hear voices below. It's the groom and Nate having a cigar. I shouldn't listen. I listen. I'm glad you brought Sophie, man. The groom says she fits right in. Everyone loves her. Yeah, Nate says, voice sounds thick with emotion. She saved me, honestly. From what? From the grind. From thinking that love had to be hard. You remember Sarah? My breath hitches. Yeah, intense girl. I spent 2 years trying to be enough for her. Nate says every day was a job interview. I had to prove I was smart enough, rich enough, cool enough. I was walking on eggshells. And with Sophie? With Sophie, I just exist, and she loves me for it. I come home and there's peace. I didn't know how much I needed peace until I had it. That's the dream, brother. The groom says, modern women, a lot of them have forgotten how to be soft. They want to be the CEO of the relationship. Sarah was the CEO. Nate chuckles, and I was just an employee she was looking to fire. Well, you look happy now. I'm going to propose. Nate says, tonight? No way. Yeah. Got the ring in my pocket. Going to do it under the olive tree later. Congrats, man. She's a keeper. Footsteps fade away. I'm alone on the terrace. Cigarette burns down to the filter. Ash falls on my expensive dress. I don't brush it off. I was just an employee she was looking to fire. I think about my last 3 dates. The tech CEO. I corrected his grammar and told him his app UI was derivative. He ghosted. The surgeon, I made fun of his taste in wine and asked if he had a god complex. He left before dessert. The architect. I critiqued his portfolio and told him he was playing it safe. He blocked me. I thought I was filtering for quality, thought I was challenging them. Thought iron sharpens iron, realized now nobody wants to hug iron, nobody wants to come home to a gladiator arena. Nate didn't leave because he was weak. He left because he wanted peace, and I was warfly back to Chicago, sit in my apartment, silence is deafening. Open hinge swipe through faces too short, bad teeth. Job sounds made up, looks needy. Reject, 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 match with a guy named Tom. 36, consulting. Tall message him. Consulting. So you tell people how to do their jobs without actually doing anything? Wait for the witty comeback, wait for him to prove he can handle me 10 minutes later. Unmatched. Open Instagram. See Nate's post photo of Sophie's hand, simple gold band with a modest diamond caption, easy. Just one word, easy scroll through the comments, congrats bro. She's lovely. You guys radiate happiness. Click on Sophie's profile picture of them in the vineyard, she's looking at the camera, he's looking at her. Caption, my safe place. I look around my condo Ames chair, Marble Island. Award on the shelf. It's a fortress, impenetrable, impressive, and completely empty text, my mom. Hey, just got back. Mom replies, how was the wedding? Did you meet anyone nice? Start typing. No, just a bunch of beta males and gold diggers. Stop, delete it, type. Nate was there. He's getting married. Mom, oh. That must have been hard. Is she accomplished? Mom taught me everything I know. Taught me that love is conditional on success. Taught me that men need to be managed. She's a nurse, Mom. Mom. Oh. Well, at least you have your career. You don't need to settle. I stare at the screen. Settle. I realize Sophie didn't settle. Nate didn't settle. They found peace. I'm the one who is unsettled. Go to the bathroom, look in the mirror, expensive skincare, boxied forehead, dead eyes. You're the CEO. I whisper to myself, you're the boss. Try to smile. It looks like a grimace phone buzzes, notification from Uber Eats. Your order for one is arriving. Turn off the lights, sit in the dark, wait for the food alone. Always right, always winning, always roan.